Shalom, shalom, Israel. This is Brother Mikael, and trying to do this video. I've been having a few technical difficulties, but hopefully I'll be able to finish this. This video is titled Path of the Years, or the Order of the Years. I'll start out by reading from Jubilees chapter 6, around verse 32. It says, "And command you the children of Israel that they observe the years according to this reckoning, 364 days. And this will constitute a complete year. And they will not disturb its time from its days and from its feasts, for everything will fall out in them according to their testimony. And they will not leave out any day, nor disturb any feast. But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to this commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons, and the years will be dislodged from this order. And they will disturb the seasons, and the years will be dislodged. And they will neglect their ordinances. And all the children of Israel will forget and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons and seasons and Shabbats, and they will go wrong as to all the order of the years." And so this is my goal. My goal is to find the order of the years and find the path of the years, because Israel has lost. We have forgotten our Shabbats and our seasons, and forgot our feast. And so my whole goal is just to get back to that old path of that Yah had set for us on Mount Sinai. I found an artifact at the true Mount Sinai in Saudi Arabia, and I got a picture of it. This is the first candlestick that was etched by our people on the mountain at the base of Mount Sinai. And if you notice, it has 7 candlesticks that we are supposed to light and keep lighted in the temple. The 7 is a very important number for our people, because everything is based off of the Shabbat, which happens on the 7th day. The 7th day, every 7th day that comes around is important. That's for another lesson. But let's talk about the years. Every 7th year. In the Apocrypha. And I'm using the King James 1611 version. It's got all the Apocrypha in it. It says, and Yah spake unto Moses in Mount Sinai, saying, "Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when you come into the land which I gave you, then shall the land keep a Shabbat unto Yah." Let's see if I can get better light on this. 6 years you shall sow your field, and 6 years you shall plant or prune your vineyard and gather in the fruit thereof. But in the 7th year shall be a Shabbat of rest unto the land. a Shabbat for Yah. You shall neither sow your field nor prune your vineyard. Okay, so this is also called, the seventh year is also called the Shemitah. There's laws attached to the seventh year. We're supposed to, once we enter the land that Yah has given to our ancestors, that they were supposed to sow and harvest for 6 years, and that seventh year, the Shemitah, in the ancient language, we would actually rest that seventh year. Okay, there's also something else. The seventh year is also referred to the menorah candle. Is referred in the menorah candle, the seven candlesticks or seven lights represents not only just the 7 days or the seventh Shabbat, or it also represents the seventh day, the seventh year. Now we also have another commandment that refers to 7 times 7, which would be 49 years, and the scripture says in Leviticus 25th chapter, around verse 10, it says, "And you shall hallow the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubile unto you," or a jubilee, or jubileem, which is plural. Okay, so this is the time, the path of the years that is referred to in the book of Jubilee or Jubilees. Now we're going to look at I had to put this in a timeline format. Actually, let me show you. I can get a wider look. This is the timelines with the Jubilees marked on a timeline to find the path of the years. And we walk around to the back side, and we're looking at the timeline. This is timeline. We're gonna take a closer look at it. Okay. What we basically did, my wife and I, we basically went through all of the ancient books, and we found that we could actually set up a timeline based on the scriptures. And we got out our calculators and we started, adding to the days and the years, and it came out looking like this. So I'll start at the first one. It says, in the very beginning, in the first book, what they call Genesis, He, Yahuwah, created man, or Adam, or Zakar, and woman, Naku, in the 6th year, in the first year, in the 6th day, or 6th Yom, in the first year, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 24 through 31. And you can see that 0 represents the day that he created the heavens and the earth, or Shamayim and Haaretz. These signs, these pictures at the bottom that has 1, 2, 3, and so on, these are the Jubilees. This is the every 50th year. 50th year is the Jubileel, and it's supposed to be a certain time for everybody, the slaves, to be released. So we go the birth of Adam, and then we go to, according to, it says Seth was born in the year, in the 130th year from the very beginning. Genesis chapter 5, 4, and 6. Let's move up closer. Okay, we see Seth was born during the third Jubilee. Next one is Enos. Enos was born. His father was Seth. He was born during the fifth Jubilee in the year 235 from the beginning, from the creation. We have Enos' son, Canaan, was born in the year 325. 325 is Genesis chapter 5 and 9. We have Mahalalel was born in 395th year from the creation. That's in Genesis chapter 5 verse 12. Yared was born. Yared was born during the 9th Jubilee. No, he was born during the 10th Jubilee. And this is the Yared was born 460th year from the creation. Enoch was born in the 622nd year. And Genesis chapter 5 and 18 is where we got that from. Methuselah was born, Enoch's son was born, Methuselah, in 687th year from the creation. Genesis chapter 5:21, it was during the 14th Jubilee, or Jubileel. Lamech was born. During the 874th year, within the 18th Jubilee, or Jubileel. We find that in Genesis chapter 5 and 25. Adam died within the 930th year. 930 years. He lived 930 years. I haven't added this to it yet, but I'm going to. It's in Psalms where it talks about to Yah 1,000 years is as one day. And so this is what the scripture in Genesis chapter 3 mentions about. In the day, Adam would not live a day, he would die. And it's referring to the 1,000 years compared to Yah. So in Yah's eyesight, this is the 20th Jubileel, the 20th Jubilee, represents the one day. And so, and you keep going, 2,000 years, that's 2 days. 3,000 years is 4 days. 5,000 years is 5 days, and 6,000 years is 6 days, and 7,000 years is 7 days. Okay, which also represents. Where's my picture? It also represents the the menorah candle, the 7 candlesticks, 7 lights. Okay, so we talked about the death of Adam was before the 1000th year for 1 day, according to YAH'S. So Adam died in 930th year from the creation. Enoch was taken in the 987th year. That's in Genesis 5:22 to 24. Seth died. Seth died in the year 1442, 42nd year from the creation. This happened in Genesis chapter 5, verse 8, where we got this from. He died during the 21st Jubilee. Okay, we're looking now at the next board. Looking at the next board, we have Noah was born, or Noah. Some say Noah was born. He was born in the year 1056 year from the creation. And it says Genesis chapter 5:28 and 29. He died. He was born during the 22nd Jubilee. And the Enos died in the year 1140, 40th year from the creation. Genesis chapter 5, verse 10. Next, Canaan died in the year 1235th year from the creation. Genesis chapter 5 and 14. He died during the 25th Jubilee. Mahalalel died 1290th year from the creation. Genesis chapter 5 and 17. Mahalalel died. Yared died in the year 1422, or 22nd year from the creation. That's in Genesis chapter 5 and 20. Chapter 5, verse 20. He died during the 29th Jubilee. Okay, now we're getting close to the year of the flood, but Shem was born. This is our ancestor, great ancestor. Shem was born to Noah, and he was born on 1558th year before the creation. 1558th year from the creation. Find it in Bereshit chapter 11, verse 10. He was born actually during the 32nd Jubilee. Okay. Lamech died in the year 1651 from the creation, and that's in Genesis chapter 5, verse 30 and 31. Methuselah died in the year 1656 year from the creation. That's in Genesis chapter 5 and 27. And then we have the flood. The flood happened in the 1656 year. Genesis chapter 7, verses 6 and verse 11. And I put up a few pictures of the places where it happened at, where the picture of the ark, from the ruins of the ark, and the anchor stones that we used to keep it anchored. And these are the pictures of where it is. I got a whole bunch more pictures of it, and I'm gonna add the history of that too. I'll show how I'm doing that. But first, we gotta find the path of the years first, and this is the path of the years. says 7 years. Every 7th year is a Shemitah, along with the commandments to go with it. And then the 7 times 7 years gives us the 49th year, where we blow the shofar, and then that's the following 50th year. That's the 50th year that the slavery is, everybody is allowed to go back to their paternal homeland. And this is based, there's laws that Yah has set up for this timeline. Now we look at Arphaxad. Arphaxad, or Arphaxad, was born in the year 1658. Genesis chapter 11 and verse 10 states it was 2 years after the flood. 2 years after the flood. Okay. Now, after Arphaxad had a son. His name was Salah. And Salah was born in the 1693rd year, which is actually during the 34th Jubilee, or Jubileo. The next son, Salah had a son. His name was some say Abar, but the actual pronunciation should be Gabar. But Gabar was born in the year 1723 from the creation. Genesis chapter 11 and verse 14. Okay, and so we talk about the period of the Tower of Babel, and the languages were changed according to their tribe. I don't have an exact date on it according to the scripture. We was looking at Bereshit chapter 10, verses 4, 20, and 31, and also Yonah chapter 1, verse 9. There's some other books that I'm going to look at for some more information, see if we can actually pinpoint the actual time, or at least the year of the Tower of Babel. But so I just, I'm just looking at the number when this could have taken place. And normally, it took place during, I'm saying, from 1723rd year from the creation to the 1757th year. And I have the black lines. It says Genesis chapter 10 verse 25, 1 Chronicles 1 through 19, during the time of Peleg, the Eretz was divided. So this is what the Chronicles gives us, that during the time of Peleg, which his name literally means the earth was divided. Okay, so we're looking at this time period, the Tower of Babel could have taken place. All right, so you got Peleg. Peleg's father was Gabar, and he was born in the 1757th year. Okay, Rayu was born in 1787th year. He's a son of Peleg. Okay, Sarug was born. Sarug is Reu's son, and he was born in the 1819th year from the creation. That's in Genesis chapter 11 and 20. Okay, I'm going to come down to the next board. I'm trying to at least get one side done, and then I'm going to post it. Then we'll do the other side. I have about 3 more boards to do. Let me see something. See if I can just pick it up. Okay. light. Alright, so Nahor was born. Nahor was born in the year 1849th year. That's in Genesis chapter 11 and 22. And we also have Terah was born in the year 1878 from the creation. It's in Genesis chapter 11 and verse 24. He was born during the 38th Jubilee. And Abram was born in the year 1948 during the 39th Jubilee, and that's also found also in the book of Jubilees as well. He was born in the 39th Jubilee. Sarah was born in the year 1958 from the creation. And that's in Genesis chapter 17 verse 17. Peleg died during the 40th Jubilee. He died in the year 1996. Genesis chapter 11 verse 19. Nahor died in the year 1997th year from the creation. That's in Genesis chapter 11 and 25. And Noach died during the 41st Jubilee. Noach died 2006 years from the creation. This is Genesis chapter 9 verse 28 and 29. Serug was born 2017th year from the creation. Genesis chapter 11 and 20. Oh yeah. Also, I wanted to also notice that this is the 2000th year, and according to YAH'S time, he looks at it as this is the second day. Okay, and it's also the 40th Jubilee as well. Abram left Haran at the age of 75. And this is in Genesis chapter 12, verse 4 through 9. And this happened in the year 2023 from the creation. Abram entered Canaan from Mitzrayim in Genesis chapter 16, verse 3, and the 2024th year. 2024th year from the creation. Okay. Let's move over to the next one. Okay. Alright. Sarah gave Hagar to Abram to be wife in Genesis chapter 16 verse 3, and Ishmael was born in the 2034th year from the creation. This is in Genesis chapter 16 verse 16. Yah changes Abram to Abraham, Sarah to Sarah, and makes covenant. All males must be circumcised. This is in the all males circumcised in Genesis chapter 17 verse 1 through 4, and this is the 2047th year from the creation. Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, and Lot's sons, Moab and Ammon, were born. Then Isaac was born, and this was in the year of year from the creation. This is in Genesis chapter 17, verse 17 to Genesis 21 and 5. This whole situation went down during that year, according to the scripture. Serug died in the 2049th year from the creation. This is in Genesis chapter 11, verse 23. And this all happened within the 45th, the 41st Jubilee. Isaac is weaned in Genesis chapter 21, verse 1 through 21. Ishmael mocked Isaac. This happened in the 2053rd year. Ishmael and his mother Hagar were cast away. This happened in the 2053rd year during the 42nd Jubilee. Okay, Terah died. Genesis chapter 11, verse 32. He died in the year 2083rd year from the creation. Sarah died in Hebron of the land of Canaan, and she was put in the field before Mamre, deeded to Abram. Genesis chapter 23, verse 1 and 20. That happened during the 2085th year from the creation, during the 42nd Jubilee. Isaac takes Rebekah as wife in Genesis chapter 23 and 20. This happened in the 2080th year from the creation. This is still during the 42nd Jubilee. Arphaxad died in the 2096 year. That's in Genesis chapter 11, verse 23. Esau and Jacob was born to Isaac. They were born as twins in the 2108th year from the creation. That's in Bereshit of Genesis chapter 25, verse 26. Abraham died in the year 2123 from the creation. That's in Bereshit or Genesis chapter 23, verse 7 and 8. Salah died in the 2126 year from the creation. Bereshit chapter 11, verse 15. This happened during the 43rd Jubilee. Shem died. Shem saw all of these. He saw the birth of Abraham. He saw the birth of Esau and Jacob. And he was there for that whole time. But he died. He was 600 years old, and he died in the 2158th year from the creation. Bereshit chapter 11, verse 11. He died during the 44th Jubilee. Abraham died. Ishmael died. Ishmael died in the 2171st year from the creation. Genesis chapter 25 and 17. And then Gabar died, or Abar died. I call him Gabar though. 2187th year he died. Genesis chapter 11 and 17. He died during the 44th Jubilee. And then Yusef was born. Yusef was born in Genesis chapter 41 and 46 in the 2199th year from the creation. Genesis chapter 45 and verse 11 is where we got the information from. Then we go into Esau takes Baphomet and Judith to wife in Genesis chapter 23 verse 34. That happened in the 2208th year from the creation. That's happened during the 45th Jubilee. Joseph was sold into slavery age 17. Genesis chapter 41 and 46. During the 2216th year from the creation. That's in Genesis chapter 45, verse 11. Isaac died. Isaac died in the 2228th year. We got that from Genesis chapter 35, verse 28 and 29. Let's see. Which one is next? Oh, I missed it. The first year of the famine in of the whole world at that time happened in the year 2236 year. That's in Genesis chapter 45, verse 11. Reu died also 2 years before that. No. He died in the year 2224 from the creation. Genesis chapter 11, verse 21. Okay, Joseph sent for Israel, saying there was still 5 years of famine. It's the second year of famine. This happened in the 2237th year from the creation. This is Genesis chapter 45, verse 11. Okay, this next one is Israel. Yaqub entered Mitzrayim because of the great famine and told Pharaoh, king of Mitzrayim, that he was 130 years old. 2238th year from the creation. Genesis chapter 46 and verse 9, verse 47, and verse 28 of Genesis also mentions the same thing. So this is the first side of the board. This is the path of the years, looking at the Jubilees and the Shemitahs.